All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us on our Zoom series today. And in that beautiful background out in the mountains outside of Boulder, you see Rayme Rossello from Comida, longtime customer, I'd say a longtime friend at this point as well. And always
Hey,
somebody that
Will.
I enjoy catching up with.
Much agreed to all of those things. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice
Uh,
to see you.
it's good to see you too. I've loved doing the podcasts, but this is even better because I get to see
Yeah.
y'all. It's so nice to be able to see y'all, if not in person, at least this way. So, all right. Well, what'd you say? You got a water there? Did you you went and got water? Cheers. I got my beef broth. There you go.
Cheers.
Bone broth. Okay. Well, last time we talked, it was, a couple months ago, and we were kind of in the, thick of this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really know where we are now. Who knows? It seems to change stuff. But just give me an update on what's happening at Comida there in Denver.
Well, we are at this point, we're open 5 days a week. We were always open 7 days a week before, from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. basically. Now we're open Wednesday through Sunday from 11 to 8, and tried to go to 7 days last week and had a couple people on Saturday night just walk off the line, get into a fight with each other, two people in a relationship, the things that happen. And good people that have worked with us for a while, and but that's no way to treat anybody. So I think they thought maybe they would get to come back, but that's you can't do that on a Saturday night and get your job back. So we just are rolling with the punches. We decided, all right, so maybe we won't open 7 days a week just yet. And our staff is, I'll talk about the good things.
Yeah.
Tighter than ever, more like it's just a really great crew of people that like one another, really like what they're doing. I think feel safe showing up. We've got the protocols in place that we're taking temperature checks and just talking with one another. My general manager called me this morning to say he wasn't feeling really good, and I said go to the clinic and get the immediate test. I'll pay for it, because if he has COVID, that's a big deal. So immediately got his test back. He's negative, which is great. We're just one day at a time. It's a whole new way of doing things. So to get back to the positive, I think the menu, we're really enjoying what we're cooking. My chef, we just had this great opportunity last week. 5280 magazine are going to do a big, that's our big Denver magazine. They're going to do a whole spread on Comida and Eric and I up at the house. So they came up last Friday for like a 12-hour day. Big deal. It'll come out a year from now in September, when hopefully things are totally different and back to.
Whoa, wait a minute. Hold on. You said it's going to come out a year from now?
Yeah.
Why is it a year from now?
Because that's just, it's a big magazine. Certainly the largest local magazine that we have, and it just takes. They plan things out. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
So they wanted to do a big thing on our garden, which was bumping until September the 8th, when we got about 10 inches of snow up here. But so the restaurant, it's I feel really close to my staff. I feel like they've got my back and I've got theirs. I'm paying the bills. We're not, there's nothing extra. The kids aren't getting new shoes, that kind of thing. But I think we're all really enjoying being around one another. And I know I'm grateful to have a place to be showing up, and the Stanley Marketplace as a place to have a business is super thumbs up, really awesome. They're just great partners in terms of a landlord tenant relationship. They've been really awesome. So, our guests are sometimes a little squirrely. Other than that,
what do you mean by that? Like they like, what's an example of that?
Well, so we have a mandated mask law in the state of Colorado, right? And at the Stanley Marketplace, there from the beginning, since opening back up, there's been a mandate that people entering the Stanley have to wear a mask. And you just have people that whole sheep's be a lion, not a sheep
Yeah.
crowd of people. And um, I mean, it's really only happened a handful of times, but there's just we ask for people's telephone numbers for contact tracing in case one of us gets sick, and I've just stopped arguing in any way, shape, or form with our guests. If they do not want to give us their phone number, God, they don't have to. You know what I mean? Like it's for them ultimately. So we
I wasn't
just
worried you're going to use it for marketing or something. Like it's a way to get.
yes, big brother. I think people are just free. People are tender. They're freaked out, right? They're
Like,
trigger happy.
yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Mm,
So, I mean, if that's what it's going to feel like, there are some people that are like, "Oh my God, that's awesome that you're doing that." Um, and the truth is, we there's not one other thing we do with that telephone number, not one. So, it is what it is.
it is what it is. Okay, so I want to ask you about this spread they're doing in 5280. I mean, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
That is a big publication out there for sure. So congrats on that. How did that happen?
Thanks. Eric and I we were interviewed last February by Denise Mickelson, who's the editor at 5280, more than just the food editor. I feel embarrassed that I don't know her exact title. Anyway, she's really awesome, a good human being, as well as really good at what she does. And so she interviewed Eric and I for Valentine's Day spread, just talking about how we met, and she thought it was an interesting story. We sleep outside, all these things. We live up in the
Yeah.
mountains. He owns a pork company. I own Comida. That's how we met. So from there, she was really we haven't been working with her since COVID started, but I worked with this awesome woman named Stephanie Jones, who has a company called Feed Media, who just helped us with, getting the word out, our PR person. And so she was working with Denise, just talking about maybe there's a bigger story. And Denise really liked the idea. My husband will tell you I was so stressed out probably for the last 2 months about the whole thing, just it being at our home,
Yeah.
like we have many chipmunks and ground squirrels that decimate every single flower that I put into the ground, trying to keep the place. It's already a little bit chaotic up here with 3 dogs and Eric and all the things, plus working and COVID, and I had no idea how it would go, but they were here on Friday and their team was super pro, and I feel really proud about what we did. My chef was awesome. I'm so excited to celebrate her because she's just a super cool woman from Puerto Rico, that's been at the Stanley Marketplace almost since day one at Comida. And, it's good to have some goodness in the middle of all this shit.
No
Pardon
kid.
my
What's your
French.
chef's name? No, bring it on. What's your chef's name?
Sandra, I say Banks. It's not how you pronounce it. Banchs, Bonks.
Okay, got it.
She's awesome.
I couldn't remember if I had spoken with her or met her. Okay, so
I don't think so.
okay. Well, that's phenomenal. I wish that thing came out next month. I can't wait to read it. I did read the article. I remember reading that thing about y'all sleeping on the porch. I would too if I were living there. God.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, how do you how does that work on a Saturday night? You got 2 people on the line out of how many were on the line?
There were 4 people on the line, and then we had, a dishwasher and maybe a nighttime prep person in the back that was probably close to getting ready to go home. So we just, but just you switch things up. You move the person that was going to leave from prep onto the line. You go with, one less person. Yeah, you just do it. I mean, I wasn't there. I was here at my house. I had worked that day, and So came home, and there's, once I'm here, I'm an hour away. There's no just getting back to work real fast to help out. But my crew, I mean, they're great, and they, this is what they do and what they're good at. So they handled it. But you can't just make up a bunch of, I mean, we've been looking for good people for 6 months, since things shut down. And, for a while it was really challenging to get people interested in coming back to work if they could, some of them. This is not what happened to most people. I know that not everybody sat on their couch and played Nintendo, but when you have a group of young guys working on the line, the truth is that some of them probably were happier to sit on their couch and play Nintendo and get 600 extra bucks a month or a week,
I
to
would have
do
done
that.
that. I bet I would have done that if I were that
Yeah,
age. Like,
yeah.
yeah, totally. I
All
mean,
of the working parents, all of the working parents, or just, I would say working, people in their 30s, they all came back right away. They were all excited to get their jobs back, and start working hard again. And, just, I mean, it's idle hands, it doesn't doesn't do much for anybody. So
mm, yeah, okay. So your team's gelled a lot more than
yeah.
ever. Everybody's kind of
Yep.
bonded over this, and okay, glad to hear that. And the customers are that's kind of an interesting dynamic. Some are um, all dialed into taking care of everybody around them and wearing them. There she goes. I knew it. She's freaking Lola. There, you got different perspectives on this, and then it's become like political and all this weird stuff. But I mean, where you're located, are you able to do a lot of takeout and delivery, or is it? I mean, are y'all? Is it 50% still? Or
We really have not done, I mean, no delivery, with the exception of using the food truck as sort of a great big delivery vehicle to take pre-ordered meals that people have purchased, to certain neighborhoods. We've done quite a bit of that this summer with the truck. Um, we do, I mean, we're doing a lot of takeout for sure. And we actually just, there've been a couple of things that I've invested in over the life of COVID. One was a frozen margarita machine,
yeah.
because I believed that, uh, just adult slushies make life better. So I thought to myself, that'll make me happy, and chances are it'll pay for itself quickly. And I would say that it has. We have a liquor license at the Stanley that allows people, we pay into it so that they can also walk around with their drinks. They can leave our doors with their beverage, walk outside, all of it. So
Okay.
one of the other things is I switched from the POS company that we'd had for 8 years that we were really struggling with, to a new one called Toast.
Yeah.
And we love them. And they made the process, I mean, anything that can make our guests experience easier when it comes to ordering. I mean, if there's a slight hiccup, I know even I will be like, well, screw it. Let me do something else for dinner.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so making it as easy as possible for people to do the online, to pay online, all of that stuff. Toast has really made it better for us in that way. Um, and I would say increased our business with to go as well.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering about that just because of where you are. Like, you're in this big marketplace that's, I would assume relies on people showing up in mass to visit all these different establishments,
Yeah.
retail, so forth. Um, I was just curious about that. You're not like to give people the context. Like, it's not like you're not in a standalone building, near a residential
Correct.
neighborhood or anything like
Nope.
that.
And we're not in a strip mall, you know what
Yeah.
I mean, where you just pull up to the front. And no, it's you got to walk in, you got to seek us out. We're sort of down on the other end. They activated the building, the way that they filled all the tenant slots was sort of the way that the morning sun started and went, as it goes to the west. So, because we are more of an afternoon and evening thing, we're on the west side of the building where you get good afternoon sun. And it just sort of, the building breathes from the east, and
Cool.
in terms of the pattern of guests entering the doors as well happens that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen over the next few months as it starts getting colder? There, you said you already had some snow one time. How does that affect y'all? Or
I mean, I learned today that the building, the ownership group put up incredible tents for all of us at the marketplace. Almost every single restaurant that had a patio, they paid to put up, you know, not a, I mean, it was semi-permanent. They drilled into the concrete. But today they took those down because the contract was up with the tent people. So it's one day at a time, Will. You know, we bought some heaters to put outside on the patio. The good news for us is we have a big indoor space. We've got 3,500 square feet, with a lot of that being, I would say 2,200 of that is dining room space. And so we can socially distance tables and um, and and the building itself, I was on this Zoom call this morning that we do every 2 weeks with the ownership group, and I didn't realize this, but the building itself, when it was built, they put this basically breathing or air filtration system in, so that once the building is locked up at the end of the night, the building takes 100% outside air and brings it back into the building and pushes all the old air out. I don't know how, it sounds like magic to me, but I believe that it's true.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it's being flushed on a regular basis. So I feel really safe at the restaurant with my mask on. And it is a strange altered reality that a guest can sit down and, I mean, of course they have to take their mask off in order to eat and drink. But I'm glad that we're at a place where that's what we can do, because I mean, it would be impossible otherwise. So I guess ultimately, I don't know is the answer. One day at a time. I feel certain that people will be showing up for indoor dining because the space is so open and they know that it's a very airy marketplace and all that stuff. But again, I don't know. I negotiated with our landlords. Sorry, the sun's kind of hitting me in a funny spot. With the landlords to they did some rent abatement in the beginning, and I negotiated with them so that it could happen sort of at the end. Hey, Eric. Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah.
You take that contract to her, please. Don't leave. I've got the contract. Okay.
You need to go.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can hear me? Okay. Our beekeeper is here. She's teaching us how to work with the bees. We just got some hives.
You need to go deal with that?
So, no, she's good. She knows what's going on.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, so you negotiate with your landlord, you were saying, on renovation.
Yeah.
So it's okay. They backloaded it.
So rather than it happening in the beginning when we had gotten the PPP money and we already had some assistance, they pushed it towards the end of our, so it starts November. And that'll just be super helpful because we really don't know what's going to happen, right? I mean, in last December, we got it was insane how busy the building was because there was this installation called Camp Christmas that was like a gigantic selfie palace. But no, it's I don't know. It's one day at a time again.
There you go. That's the only way to do it these days. If you weren't already thinking that way, you kind of have to now. Well, okay. You have like the background. It's funny you said you're on a Zoom call. Like you have one of those backgrounds where most people have to like take a fake background and put it behind them. They're in their house. It's just like real background. That's hilarious. So, so beautiful. How high up are y'all?
We're at about 7,200 feet elevation.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to get down to Boulder?
To get to Boulder, 10 minutes. Nothing.
Oh, It's not far at
Yeah.
all.
Mm-mm.
Got it.
To get
All right.
to the Stanley, it's an hour to get to work.
Okay. Do you know? I was actually talking yesterday on Zoom to Chick Evans. Did you cross paths with Chick when you were working with Dave?
No.
No. Okay.
Mm-mm.
You worked for Dave like early when he just had like Zolo and One Jacks or whatever.
Chip or Chick? Chip?
Chick
Like
Evans.
Chick? I know that name is. I mean, I probably am just having a super blonde moment, but I don't. It's not ringing a bell.
Okay. Yeah, good guy. He's outside of Chicago, and
Cool.
anyway, we were talking yesterday. So, well, who is who like? Do you communicate with a lot of your restaurant peers in and around Denver or Boulder, and just keep in touch with what people are doing and what people are trying, or are you just too busy and just trying to?
It doesn't have anything to do with being too busy. I mean, the answer is twofold. I think yes, I do some. There are definitely, I'm in a group. I'm on an email thread with all of the Denver Eat Denver community. So I see a lot of questions and answers coming through, and it's easy to just keep up with that. I'm in a marketplace with quite a few other restaurateurs. So we talk, I try to support them not just by asking how things are going, but actually ordering to go food or having dinners and stuff like that. Um, in terms of Boulder, I'm a little more disconnected than I used to be, I think, because I don't have anything in Boulder. And even though I live in Boulder, my business is really Denver focused.
Yeah.
I'm on the Colorado Restaurant Association board, so I'm pretty tuned in to what's going on that way. But I gotta say, like, keeping up with the Joneses is what it feels like sometimes, and so I don't do that. I'm not gonna freak out about I'm not going to compare or wonder or any of those things. If I see a good idea or I hear, that somebody's having some positive experience doing takeout a different way, absolutely. But in general, I feel like I didn't get to where I am today because I was constantly asking everybody what they thought or what they were doing. I did it based on intuition and a love for what I do. And so it's the same principles that guide me now, I think.
I love that about you. And I will never forget you telling me that story about when you got that food truck and went and got that thing. And then you set up shop and you're like, oh, crud, it's not even legal to have one of these here in Boulder. That's freaking
Yeah.
awesome. But I love
Yeah.
that mentality. Just go and do. We need more of that. I want to ask you about something it's been on my mind a lot lately, to be honest with you. It's bothering me. How engaged are you at Comida with social media as a tool to promote your business?
Well, I just watched The Social Dilemma last night.
I did too, 2 nights ago.
And I mean, I'd had a glass of wine for sure. So I just had to take my phone and put it far away so that I didn't just disconnect everything right away. I mean, when I got into this business as a restaurant owner in 1999 with my first group of restaurants that I opened, there was no social media. I didn't get into this to be engaged on Instagram. I mean, it's not even Instagram anymore, right? It's Latergram. It's all staged. It's all.
Oh,
So
that's hilarious. Later, Graham. Oh, it is stay.
yeah,
You're right. Yeah.
So I mean, and when it started, it was kind of fun because it was all about taking a picture that was in the moment, right? This is what's going on, and now it's highly curated, things that we hope will catch people's attention as they're scrolling through in their 2 hours a day or whatever they're on. And so I haven't been reading books lately. You know what I mean? Like so I want to get back to it. I want to get back to like turning a page,
holding the book.
turning a page and spending less time looking at other people's lives and maybe spend some more time focusing on my life and the lives of the people that are in my immediate reach, the 30 some employees that I get to spend time with on a regular basis, and that and then the people in my family that I get to spend time with, and we've all stayed healthy, and that's incredible. um so I know, I know. that's a
Hey, Lola.
that's
Lola.
that's
No, ma'am. Sorry.
no ma'am.
I'm from the South. What can I say? Oh, wait. Hey, Rayme. I lost your,
I'm engaged. Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. I lost your audio for a second there. I, uh,
okay. Can you hear me now?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay, sorry. Um, as far as social media goes, I'm engaged on it. I do this. I don't pay anybody else to do it for me. Um, so when it moves me, or it moves my manager to post something, we do. I understand the importance of staying relevant and staying in people's immediate circle of what they're paying attention to. Um, and I just it's really my least favorite part of what we do at this point. I'd rather talk to people, and um and you can't really even you're I was standing in front of this table the other day with this awesome woman who's been a regular at Comida since we opened there at the Stanley Marketplace, and she would always come in. It was Lee, and they'd always come in together, and they'd sit at the bar, and I'm sitting there, and she's with her son, and I'm sweating underneath my mask, and I'm trying not to touch it and move it back up over my nose, because you're not supposed to do that. And I'm talking to her, and she can't really hear me. I mean, but that's still more fun than social media to me.
Yeah. It's interesting. I watched The Social Dilemma too, and I guess it was a lot of just confirming things I already suspected or whatever. It just validates like the things where you're like, I don't know. In the back of my mind, I wonder, and then you're like, God, it's worse than I even thought in a lot of ways. And I, I have no idea if I'm in your shoes or an owner's shoes, a restaurant owner's shoes, because I haven't owned a restaurant. But God, I would really want to not be on social media. I mean, it is such a boy. It's just like this thing that, like you said, it's almost like you feel like you have to. But it, every minute you spend doing that, you're taking away your focus from something else you enjoy, and communicating in other ways. And one of the things that we started to see too, and the reason I asked you about this, is we've seen some of our well-known customers, that have big platforms, have had some like people come and say, well, 3 years ago this happened, and they're using their platform to try to take them down. So it's just I don't know, it's been bothering me, I guess. That's why I was just
like
curious. The
like
whole
with
subject.
cancel culture, is that what you're talking about?
And it's
Yeah.
weird to me that somebody can use your own platform, right? Like I would want to just turn the comments off, because this is a platform you've built with your brand, and now somebody's coming in there and just berating you on your comments, using the platform
Well,
you have to
but
reach
so
the
so
audience.
I don't read the comments anymore. I stopped
Yeah.
reading the comments a long time ago,
But
and I know that that's probably the wrong thing to do, but I stopped reading comments. I stopped reading Yelp. It was soul sucking for me,
yes.
even before COVID. And so especially after watching that movie last night and just thinking about things, like, for me, the answer, and I know this to be true, the answer is to not just shut it all down and walk away from it. The answer is to just keep doing what I'm doing, and to be positive, and when I post about our food, and post about our staff, and post, positive, continue to put positivity out into the world, because people want that. They want to see
Yes.
pretty food. They want to be reminded that people are working and people are happy and staying healthy. In my life, I post a lot of pictures about my garden and my dogs, and I don't play politics in social media. And I don't look at my Facebook page to learn about the world. So I've never done that. Um, I, you know, so I don't feel as far as things like pablum, things being fed to me, like I'm just a baby and it's just open mouth feed. I don't feel like that's happening to me all the time because I'm not engaged in those ways. And there is some value to being and staying relevant in a
Right.
world where people are closed up in their houses looking at social media. So to
Yes, that's the
just
point.
annihilate that from or obliterate it from my life, I feel like would be as fun as it sounds. It would just be like having a big tantrum. And I don't have tantrums anymore. I'm going to be 50. I'm going to be 50 in December, and it's time. It's just hard. Just work hard, nose down, be kind, and do good for others. It's
Yeah.
the best of your abilities.
That's the way to do it, Rayme. I'm 46. I
Think
still
so.
I still am on the verge of tantrums every now and then. This has been one
Oh
of them.
yeah.
But I did have enough of well, not a tantrum, but I got so fed up with my iPhone that when I accidentally broke it, and
Oh, you have a flip phone. It's
yeah,
very retro of you. I like it.
that's why I can't like I'll be calling you more than I'll be texting you now, which is
I
actually
wondered. I wondered. I sent a text that bounced back this morning. That first one I sent to you, just asking, and so now I know. That's very good for you. Congratulations.
yeah, it's been interesting. I've had so many more phone conversations lately, like
Yeah, I
way
bet.
more. I did this like a month ago, which has been great. It's less communication, but it's better communication when it
It's the
happens.
right kind. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I've talked to my friends now. I'm like, hey man, what
Yeah.
do you just like I haven't actually talked to you on the phone in 3 months or 6 months or whatever, but we text every day. Let's just talk once a week or two. So
Well, and you'll find, I think, that there will be people that don't have time for that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or maybe more people are making more time for that now, but I do think it's really interesting to see the people that are going to continue to move forward in this way with social media and all of the quick, the fast. I mean, saying LOL instead of what it really means, saying the word fire, which is just an emoji, instead of all of the other words that can encompass. That's so cool. Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. No, I'm going to just send a fire emoji. Like, it's like there's there are going to be people that choose this connection to the best of our abilities, even though we're thousands of miles away from each other. And then there will be those that don't. So
No, I agree. I agree. Well, it's interesting because I've got 3 kids, and my daughter's 16. My son's 13. They both have iPhones. My other son is 11. He doesn't have one yet, but it won't be long. And there's a lot of this going on around here, and it's really just, it's
yeah, I have two stepkids, 16 and 13. So same thing. You're
yeah,
just like,
you don't want to take it away, but you also like you watch that. Like I told my daughter, I was like, you need to watch Social Limits. Of course, I said she's like, well, I don't want to watch it. I'm like, well, man, I don't know if I'm going to make you, but I'll tell you this: like you're being taken. That's one thing. That's the one way you get kids interested. I was like, you're being taken advantage of. And she's like, what do you
yeah,
mean? I'm like, they're taking advantage of you. They're
yeah,
sucking you. You're the and she's like, So maybe she'll get interested, but it's yeah, the world is definitely moving in that direction. There's in some ways you kind of have to, you can't just say, well, I'm just, you know, uh, not going to do it. And because you'll get left behind, especially as a business owner in your situation. In ours, I think it's a little different. We don't have anything now. I shut down our Instagram, just turn it off. It's done.
yeah.
I don't think it really matters to our business.
I did think about that a lot though last night. I will say I thought like, are we really getting people in because of posting? But the truth is that there are times when I've gone to a restaurant down in Boulder because of a good like, oh my God, that looks delicious. I'm gonna go grab. I'm not working tonight. I'm gonna go get that. So I think it matters. I think it helps.
So hard to know.
I wish
I
it
know you wish
didn't.
you have like two, like virtual reality and real, and like two realities, and you could test like A/B tests, like
Yeah.
no social media, and then tons of it, and which one like makes a difference. But um, well, but you know what? At the end of the day, even if you're getting people in, what matters is what y'all do, what you do well, and what y'all do well. Your team does well, which is once they're there. I mean, you can get people in. You can do all kinds of things to get people in.
Yeah.
question is, what happens when they're there? Is the hospitality wonderful? Is there, a smile in the eyes behind the mask? Is there good engagement? Is there, looking people in the eyes and being present, with your
Yeah.
customers? Like those are the things that keep people coming back. And that's why you still have Comida, and it's why you do what you do. It's a big part of it. I know it's what you're good
I
at.
think
And it's what
so.
you love. And obviously the food has to be great too, but it's, it's that magic combination. It's like this, this alchemy of things that have to come together to make it work. And there's a lot of ways to get people to show up, but keep them coming back. That's the big thing that y'all do well, and so many of your peers do well, and so many of our customers do well, which is why I really enjoy doing this, because I learned so much from you. Plus, I also feel like you and so many of your peers are, I find y'all to be very thoughtful and intentional, a lot more so than me, and level-headed about a lot of things, where you don't like, because if you run a restaurant, you're putting out fire, you just have to deal with so much. Like, you can't be reactive and like react over the top and negative, all this, it'll destroy you. So you have to learn,
Totally.
whether you're wired that way or whether it's just a process of osmosis or, trial and error over the years. You have to learn how to just kind of manage things the right way and deal with them the right way. So I learn a lot when I talk to y'all, because a lot of times I'm like, I'm fired up about this social, and you're like, yeah, I hear you, but think about this too. Oh yeah, okay. Selfishly, I get a lot from talking to y'all, just from bettering me
Well, but
and a business person, hopefully.
well, that's nice of you to say. I appreciate that feedback. It's good, to remember. It's not, it's hearing positive things back is always a good thing. And I would say about a month ago on a Friday, I woke up and I thought, shit, God, really? I don't want to do any of this today. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't excited about anything. Like, it was a 24-hour period, and I'm grateful for that about myself. I don't stay long in that place, but I really struggled that morning. Like, this isn't fun. It's not fun. It's not easy.
Yeah.
I'd been writing like newsletters to my staff on a regular basis. None of them were responding to the newsletter, you know, and I finally was like, well, okay, they're not they're not responding to the newsletter because they see you, Rayme, and you're talking with them and you're with them one on one. Like, you stop, like, give yourself a break. You're doing a fine job. You're still open, first of all. You're
Yeah.
still clear on the fact that this is nobody else's fault, right? It's happening in the
Right.
entire world, the whole world. So I'm not a victim. And when you're not a victim, you can come at things from a totally different standpoint. Um, there are solutions to these problems, and I'm not alone. And I yeah, I don't, I just I appreciate you saying all of those things, and I know that there are so many restaurant owners that have just they've the choices that they've made to close were the right things for them to do. And then there are some people that, you know cl- closed with while they were just spinning the entire time. I mean, we draw a lot of unhealthy people to this business, but I
Mm.
do think in the last 5 years or so, we've started to learn how to take care of ourselves and one another so much better. So hopefully people are making those decisions from that
Yeah.
place.
As part of the conversation. I'm glad to see it. I hope to help continue it any way that we can. I just believe so much that what y'all do, particularly independent restaurants, is so important. I mean, a great independent restaurant and a group of great independent restaurants are like at the epicenter of a great city. And people want to, I mean, like, you can't find you name one great city. 100%, they have a lot of great restaurants. Like, they go hand in hand. Uh, we need y'all, and we need what you do. The challenge that your industry has had for so long has been this: you do so much and care so much and give so much that you get this work hard, play hard, thing. You invest so much of yourself, mentally, physically, into caring for people in your community, and so no wonder when you're done, you're like, man, I just want to go. I need to go get drunk, whatever. Plus, there's alcohol right there. Like, so it draws a lot of people that are between careers or about to start a career one, but they don't know who. So it's a interesting combination of people. But as a whole, it's a group of people that care a lot about others, and sometimes their personal health is sacrificed knowingly or often unknowingly because of that until it's too late. But mental health, physical health, sleep, diet, exercise, like these are the foundations that we all need. And it's good that this conversation, like you brought this, I'm having this with so many of your peers around the country now.
Sure.
You're aware of it, you're talking about it, you're thinking about it, you're talking to your staff about it, you're leading by example, taking care of yourself. A lot of times restaurant owners just take care of everybody else, and then they let themselves just, they burn out, or you just, something bad happens because you can't keep it. It's not sustainable, right? So it's good to see a lot of y'all leading by example, having the conversations, because we got this generation of people that work for y'all that needs that, and they need to be led the right way in their home and their job and everywhere else by folks like us that have been there and have the experience to help them learn how to take care of themselves. The more you do, the industry will just get better and better.
Yeah, right on.
Amen.
Amen.
Yes, ma'am. Well, listen, I really enjoy catching up with you as always. And this is so cool. Like, I got to finally meet you in person in February, and I really enjoyed doing that. And what was your friend's name? She was so nice.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly.
You doing all right?
She's great.
Okay,
She's
good.
doing really well.
Tell her I said, hey, but
I will for sure.
probably be a long time before I get back on a plane and go anywhere. So in the meantime, that's every few months or so. Let's catch up this way.
I would love it. Thanks, Will.
All
I'm
right.
glad you're well. Glad your family's well.
You too. All right.
Keep at it. Thanks.
right.
Thanks again. Bye.